Hello and welcome to the podcast Love, Life and Loss. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this today, Chris. Would you like to introduce yourself to everybody and let them know a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Well, howdy everyone. My name is Christopher E. Singleton Sr. I am a dad, husband, author of a children's book, singer-songwriter, and by day, most of the time, molding minds and changing diapers.
Bit like the rest of us. So, again, you agreed to come onto this to tell your story. So, would you like to start from your beginning and what that looks like for you?
Yes. Well, growing up, I grew up in a single family household. A lot of basically all my siblings are half siblings, but I never look at them any different. But I just knew that when I got older, that I wanted to be a present father in my child's life, and I wanted to be married. I saw my father most of the time in jail, and I knew for a fact that's not what I wanted for my children. I love my freedom, so I tried to do what I could to keep myself on a straight and narrow path, and I haven't been arrested, so I think I've done well in that
Then
front.
you're definitely winning.
Yeah, and so I had a relationship that I thought was the one. I was getting ready to propose, and then I ended up losing the money for the ring. It was stolen, so I'm guessing that was a sign that that wasn't supposed to be. And then years later, actually, I think it was like 4 years later, is when I got reconnected with the woman who I met, who's currently my wife, Tony. I got introduced to her by her younger sister, and at the time when I met her, she was still in high school. So at the time, I was like, "Hi, nice to meet you. See you later." Zoom. But then a couple years later, we crossed paths. We crossed paths again, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like she is like really like beautiful. At the time, she was taken, and prior to I want to say prior to me even having that second interaction. Now I saw her prior to that and asked her to help me out in my drama program, and at the time she wasn't available. And then wasn't because I was attracted to her, but because I knew she liked theater. And then what ended up happening later on is that we, like I said, we see each other at this party. We connect. The invitation is sent out again, and then this time she's actually able to do it. So she ended up assisting me in my drama program, kept things very cordial, very respectful. Because again, she's in a relationship. I'm not doing the breakup, the happy home type thing. But one day we're on the city bus, and she asked me a question that I answered, which I didn't see the reason for her question, but I answered it just to be respectful. She was like, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years?" And I was like, hopefully married, with a couple of kids, hopefully a home. I think I said teaching full time, things of that nature. And she liked the response. She liked those responses. And then I want to say a couple weeks later, that's when I found out she was single. I was like,
Ah,
whoa, hmm.
she was testing
I
the waters.
yeah, I see what you're doing, guys. So I didn't just jump straight into it. I invited her to a singles conference that one of my friends' churches was having, and the stuff that I heard and our interactions, that at least for me, confirmed that she was the one I was supposed to propose to. So actually, like a week and a half later, that's what I did. And what I did was I took half a sheet of paper, and each half a sheet of paper had a number on it and a huge letter on it. So the first thing she had to do was match up the numbers. Then after that, she had to unscramble each number set, and it said, "Tony, will you allow me to court you?"
Oh,
And
that's so sweet. That's so lovely.
thanks, and she said yes. And almost. a little over 2 years later, we got married, and my sister at the time was already a parent of three children. She was only of our siblings on my mom's side to have children. So obviously nobody's saying anything, but everybody's looking at my brothers and I like,
Yeah.
kind of like what's going on. And my wife and I, we got pregnant almost immediately. We got married August 15th. We found out in September that she was that we were expecting, and then I want to say a couple of weeks after that, we she wasn't feeling too great, so we had to go to the ER, and that's where we found out that we had a miscarriage. The doctors explained, this is common, but obviously that did not help ease the loss or the frustration, the confusion that came along with hearing what what we just found out. And for me, it's like I feel like we were led to believe a lie growing up. You get pregnant and the baby comes. So it's like if more people talked about it, it would have it would have definitely lessened the pain. It still would have hurt, but it would have lessened the pain knowing ahead of time that this is something that could potentially happen. Versus, oh no, you get pregnant, your baby's coming. I have
Yeah,
no
that's
family.
the thing, isn't it? You always expect that, don't you? Get married, fall pregnant, have a baby, and live happily ever after.
Yep, yep. So basically what ended up happening after that was we started to do some research on ways to we knew we could conceive, but we wanted to make sure that we were planning it or what have you, because you know typically it revolves around the ovulation cycle, which is something we didn't know beforehand. So I want to say at this point it took almost 2 years for us to conceive again.
Wow. What was it like in that 2 years then? Because obviously, if you've fallen pregnant so quickly after getting married, I'm guessing that you might have thought that would happen again.
Yeah, yep. And it's like she was tracking it and we were doing what we were supposed to do, but it just didn't happen until it happened.
And how did you navigate that together as a couple, if you don't mind me asking?
She shared it with me, and we were intent about connecting during that ovulation cycle.
So what, because we often hear the woman's side and what that's like for them and the stress and the pressure that they put themselves under. What about you as the husband? What was it like for you?
Honestly, for me, I don't necessarily feel like I ever gave up hope, even though it wasn't happening. I wish I would have recorded myself back then to give like more like in depth, but I don't really remember feeling doubtful or fearful at the time. I just did what I could to try to make that happen because my ultimate goal was to grow my family. So if that took a year, two, three, four, I wanted to do my part to make that happen.
Okay. And did you find that it brought you closer together, or did it find that there could have it was a bit put a bit of pressure on the relationship?
I think I I think it brought us closer. I think it made us more intentional about that time.
Yeah, kind of I can't even say the word solidifying that you both want the same thing.
Yep, yep.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I'm interrupting you. Sorry, go on.
No, you're good. Cool. And then all right, so it's the summer, I believe, yep, summer of 2017. I'm actually on my way to a funeral in South Carolina, and while I'm there, I get a text message of a pregnancy test, and that's how I found out that we were expecting again. And I want to say the first time we were expecting a loss, the only people that knew were parents and siblings. The second time, we didn't make any sort of announcement until it was a little bit more noticeable, and we did at church. So obviously this is after her telling me, but basically I'm sitting here planning for the gender reveal because I wanted to do it. I know that's not atypical, but I'm sorry. That's I
Okay,
want to
sorry.
host. Yep, I want to host it, so I'm going to plan it and do what needs to be done. So we get to our appointments. Appointments are looking good. They are telling us that I don't want to mix up the terms, but I do know it's mono die and die. I don't know which one are identical and fraternal. I haven't like researched those terms in a while, but I know fraternal twins have a higher chance of making it through the pregnancy versus identical twins. So
Okay.
again, learning stuff as we go on. So basically, identical twins have a higher chance of twin to twin transfusion syndrome, which is basically one twin is getting too much nutrients and the other twin is not getting enough. And it ends up affecting both of them, where there can be abnormalities or there can be death.
Okay.
And we found out on a Friday that that's what our twins had. They had twin to twin transfusion syndrome, and the only person that could potentially do a procedure was already like he doesn't work on the weekends. So we had to wait to see him on Monday, and when we saw him on Monday, we found out that we lost them over the weekend.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm so sorry. That's horrible.
yeah.
How
So
fa- how many weeks was your wife into a pregnancy?
I'm pretty sure this time we made it to 20 weeks, and before I believe we made it to 9 weeks.
Okay. Oh, so you had twins. Do you know if they
Yeah.
were girls or boys?
It was identical twin boys.
Oh, I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. So what happened? What happened after that then? So you got that horrible news, and then what happened?
Um. Well, it was. She had to have DNC. So obviously, not that it didn't hurt me, but physically, there was a lot more for her to deal with than myself. So it definitely one thing is like, am I doing enough to support her during this time? Like I need support myself, but am I doing enough to support her during this time? We were actually expecting at the same time as my like I said, my brothers, we're next in the line. So my brother's girlfriend was expecting at the same time as Tony, and so we actually had to go to their baby shower.
Oh,
I think a month later after she had to have the DNC procedure, and I want to say we went to two more around that time. So it was it was definitely tough, but I don't feel either of us were jealous or envious of the blessing that they were about to receive. We were just there, being supportive,
it's hard.
and yeah, and then a little bit prior to that, we found out about an organization called Hope After Loss, and Hope After Loss is about what it sounds like, those that deal with miscarriages and infant loss and pregnancy loss overall, and basically they do it during infant and pregnancy loss month, which is October here in the States.
Okay.
And
Yeah, we have
and
next week in October in England as well.
cool. And they basically take down your information, have like a moment of silence. They do a walk, and it was a bunch of different activities just to support people in the community. So it's one thing to hear people say, oh, this affects 1 in 25, but it's a different thing to see the people that has been affected by that, and their supporters.
Yeah, it makes it. I don't know about you, but I feel like when I'm around people who've got similar experiences, although it's devastating, it's just there's a closeness there that can't be matched with anybody else.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does make it a bit easier.
Yeah. So we were told to not try again for I believe it was 6 months, and we followed the doctor's orders because we didn't want to mess up our chances. So we tried after 6 months, and in March of 2018 we found out that we were expecting again, and excited, but more so than that, nervous,
Yeah,
doubt, fearful. Are we going to make it this time? Every appointment we go to, things are looking good. He's moving good. We actually make it to Father's Day, and actually Father's Day 2018, I actually I felt confident enough in the pregnancy to actually host the gender reveal,
okay.
and the way I did it was pro- probably has never been done, probably never will be done unless somebody steals or borrows my idea. But basically, throughout the whole event, I'm playing music, and the music was in the key of B. Now, the reason why the music was in the key of B is because we were going to have a boy. Now, the so once it's time for me to make the announcement, I didn't say that, but I said, all right, so I'm going to play a couple of notes. If I'm playing mostly white keys and it sounds like it fits, it's in the key of G. But if I'm playing mostly black keys and it sounds like it fits, it's more likely in the key of B. So Tony's dad actually has an ear for music, and he he kind of said it, but kind of after. I didn't like fully ignore it, but I kind of wanted them to like hear it. And then somebody else had said it, like they were like, that fits. So I was like, well, all right, well, that means it's in the key of B. So what does that mean? We're having a boy. Everybody was excited. Then a little bit after that, we finally made like a Facebook announcement of what was going on. Let's see, we get to October, we actually had baby shower. I want to say it was a couple of weeks before he was born, so we were pushing it a little bit, and gosh, somebody gave us a shirt that we still have. I don't remember the scripture in this exact moment because my mind is just trying to recall a bunch. But basically, I know it spoke about it spoke up. I want to say it spoke about a gift and how CJ was going to be our gift, or our rainbow after the storms, somewhere along those lines. I have to look at it and DM you what
Yeah.
it actually said. It was the feeling of it was somewhere in that realm.
Okay. That's
And our job overall was considerate that Tony and I only had one vehicle. I don't know if they were hyper aware of what we experienced prior, but I needed I needed to be at those appointments. One of the last appointments, they were trying to say, no, we need you here, and that was on November 2nd, and I was scheduled to catch the train to work, and she was about to eventually head to her appointment, and then her water broke.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, I tried to tell you all. And we go to the hospital. Um, she, I want to say the labor part didn't start. No, this was like 8 o'clock in the morning. The labor part, I want to say, didn't start until like later that evening.
Okay.
And then the next morning, her cervix started to close.
Oh.
So they basically said, we're going to have to, since your cervix is closing, we're going to have to do, the best thing to do would be a C-section. So opted to do the C-section. And like 8:30 that morning, I believe C-section was successful, thanks to Dr. Adusa and her team. And CJ was born. But almost as soon as he was born, we weren't out of the works just yet. He had low blood sugar, so he had to be put in the NICU. And our NICU journey was a week long before we were able to take him home, because they had to keep giving him stuff to, and keep taking his blood to make sure his levels were where they needed to be. So we were able to have him home for Thanksgiving. He had like this little cute like Thanksgiving infant shirt or onesie, and it was awesome to have him home. Felt mega nervous putting him in the in the car seat, because he was this little this little tiny life. And yeah, we want to say right around the time, I feel like it was right around the time he started coming to daycare, he actually caught pneumonia at 3 months. And that was very scary for me, because my uncle had died from pneumonia. So it was very, very hard to hear that word, and
Mm.
to know the impact that it had on somebody in my family.
Oh, it sounds like it was a really testing time for you.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the
But
last thing, isn't it? When you've gone through what you've gone through, and then your baby's poorly as well, and you've already experienced the worst already. Take a minute.
so mm, mm. So I want to say we were. I don't remember the duration, but I don't think it was as long as we were in the NICU. I don't think it was a week. And we found out a couple months later. Uh, our pediatrician had recommended for CJ to get seen by someone that deals with head shape.
Okay.
His head was a little bit flatter in the back than they would like. So we weren't able to do anything until he had a couple of months of physical therapy. And if physical therapy didn't do the trick, then he would have to get seen to get fitted for a doc band, which could help reshape the the shape of his head. So we had to that didn't happen until July. And when he went to that appointment, he was, yeesh, what was he, about maybe like 7, 8 months at the time. They put it on him, and he wasn't like fighting to get it off. He was like, oh, what's this? He like welcomed it.
Okay.
um I want to say he had to wear it for like 3 months. Of course, we had questions, because again, it's not something that a lot of people talk about. Some people assumed automatically that there was something wrong with him mentally. and we had to explain, no, he's fine. He just has he just had a flatness to his head, and this doc band is going to help to make his head a little bit more round, and that's why he's wearing it. Um,
Okay.
the He graduated in October of 2018, which was about a month before his birthday, and then on his birthday, he turned one, and I asked him to say one, and he repeated me, so that was nice to finally get to that point and place, and not that I wasn't already proud of my son, but to just have that moment of feeling extremely proud and blessed to be able to have a child that made it to their first birthday. So
Yeah.
it was definitely a awesome experience. It was a Ninja Turtle themed. I ended up making some custom made pillows for the occasion. My wife booked the event. It was a small intimate party at like a jump place. I can't remember the name of it, or a bouncy place. And then about ish. Well, so actually, while we I have to backtrack a little bit, because while after he got his doc bin, we did a trip to South Carolina. We visited my sister in Charlotte because we both worked for the same company, and we visited that company, at least the branch down here, and we liked it a lot because we always talked about moving to the south, but we never solidified where. And I actually almost forgot one another parts of the story is, even prior to that, prior to CJ getting his doc ban, I'm a person that has keloids, and one of my keloids got infected to the point where on the 4th of July, 4th of July today,
Okay, by the way.
I
Oh, would you like- Sorry, Chris, can I ask just for the audience and
yeah,
myself, what is a keloid?
so a keloid is overgrown scar tissue. Sometimes, I don't know if you can see over here.
Okay, yeah.
This is one that was removed, and this is one that was removed, and this is a fairly new one. Here, under my chin, they can grow provoked or unprovoked. So damage to the skin can happen, and if the area says we need to heal this, it will start healing, but then it will overheal to the point that it creates scar tissue,
Like,
um, that that can become larger than somebody would like.
okay. Is it painful?
When it's infected, it can be, and that's what happened on July 4th. I was experiencing pain, but not realizing that it was infected. Had I knew that it was infected and I needed antibiotics, that's what I would have asked for, and I wouldn't have spent my 4th of July and beyond in the emergency room.
Okay. Oh gosh. You guys
So
had it tough, didn't you?
yes, so definitely after, and actually my one thing I forgot to mention is my temperature got up to 106. So my body felt like it was shutting down. So here it is. I've arrived to this dream that I've had for so long of becoming a husband and a dad, and I almost lost it, all because of something that was technically out of my control. Had I had a little bit more information, I would have been able to, not even get to that point.
Yeah.
But what ended up happening after was I realized what needed to be done, and that was I needed to have a surgery and to get rid of the keloid that was causing most of the infections, and it cost a lot of money. But apparently, my insurance will cover most of it. But I needed to have, I think it was $3,000, and I didn't have $3,000 just sitting in my bank account. So I ended up finding out about a doctor named Dr. Jones, who specializes in keloids and has had a high success rate of keloids not coming back, which I've actually had since the age of 8, born in 1984. So had them for quite some time. And the reason why I wasn't apt to try to have another procedure is because when I did have the procedures, they kept growing back. And when they grew back larger. So for me, it didn't make any sense. But now, and actually, I almost forgot, Dr. Jones is somebody that my mom brought up. But again, there was all this doubt there. One, I don't have money for the surgery. Two, is this even going to work? So now somebody else is bringing him up, and it's like, all right, maybe this doctor just might be the answered prayer that I've been looking for. So I did my research. I liked what I was hearing. I put the call on my Facebook for to help me get the 3,000, and in less than 24 hours that $3,000 was raised.
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. And because even then, I was thinking the same as you. If the issue is the healing, if you're going to have an operation, how does it then not come back if it's got to heal? So how does it work? What does he do different?
So I know he like injects the site with, like, I don't remember the full. I have to. I appreciate that question because now I need to be better prepared in the future to answer it. But I do know that he injected the site with something, and then there were 3 rounds of radiation, as well as 3 rounds of an injection that normally they give to people to stop the keloids from growing. So it was radiation, it was laser therapy, which doesn't tickle, and it was injections.
How long was that process, if you don't mind me asking?
So the surgery was September 11th of 2018, and the I want to say those appointments, I feel like they were like once a week for like 3 weeks.
Okay, so was it all done within 3 weeks then? But what was your recovery like?
Um, it was I had to wear like a head bandage because they had to keep gauze on it. I had to keep changing the gauze. I had to take medication to, alleviate the pain. Overall, I don't feel like it was that bad.
Okay.
Um,
Maybe because you probably was in a lot of pain before that as well and poorly. Extra.
yeah, yep. And then also when it's infected, is it just the blood and the pus smells horrible.
Oh, okay. So it was the lesser of the two evils, having the
Yeah,
operation.
yeah,
Okay, so yeah, so you guys, this is all within the first year of your son being born.
yes,
Gosh, you did
yeah,
a tough year. And so
and
I feel like you were going to the point that you were going to say that you decided to move.
yep, and then but prior to the move, I ended up having, so the first surgery was for on this side, and the second surgery was on this side, and that was right around Christmas time. So around Christmas time, I'm having to go. I just had the procedure again, and I'm having to go back and forth to him for 3 weeks to keep this one down. Again, we're at a point where it's like, all right, the keloids seem to be doing okay thus far. Only though it's been a couple of months, they seem to be doing okay. There's a potential job opportunity. Our lease is ending. So we actually decided to not renew our lease at all and to temporarily move in with her dad. We boxed everything up, cleaned up that apartment, and I ended up having an interview. Was supposed to be actually on my birthday, and that got canceled because here in Charlotte they actually had a tornado watch.
Oh,
Like there was a tornado that hit, so that had to get canceled. I think to the next week, and then after I got off the phone call, they were like, yeah, we want you to come down here now. So it's like, oh crap, this is really happening, but the 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 tricky thing was the interview was just me. They didn't interview my wife. So at the time it was only me that so we had to basically, all right, am I going to, just move and just get the family started? And I feel like that's kind of what we agreed upon. If that's what is going to take for things to happen, then so now being stripped away from wife and son to have to go move. But what ended up happening was my wife ended up getting a call from another center that was in the same vicinity, same company. Oh, we want you. Oh, so now both of us are able
okay.
to get hired. So now have to find a respectable moving company, which the one we had, I will never ever work with them again. Did not like that experience at all. But we didn't have to cut we didn't have to cut our lease early because we were already moved out, and then this was March of 2020. If I don't know if you recall, there was a lot happening during that time.
Yeah.
So literally the weekend that we moved was the weekend that our center was going to shut down because of everything that was happening. However, I never got any update from the center that I was supposed to be coming to. So when we got down here, I assumed not that COVID was gone, but that they were still open and they were just following whatever protocols were in place. But they were like, no, we're we're shut down.
Oh,
So we get down here, empty-ish apartment. Uh, Moving company was also supposed to arrive that day. They did not. I don't know if they arrived the next day or the day after. But again, like I said, I was not too happy with our dealings with them. Thankfully, I believe all of our stuff arrived, but it was just the timing of it arriving. You guys left before us, so how was our stuff getting here after we got here?
oh,
I the answer still boggles me. But we tried to make the make the most of our time. A lot of things was shut down, so it was very limited to what what we could do. And then what ended up happening one day is my wife is just overly sensitive, not pleased with anything I was doing, anything I was saying. And so basically what ended up happening was we got home, and I didn't want to respond to the way that she was responding to me. So I went to the car to get some space so I don't end up saying things I don't want to say. And then I get a text message saying, "Oh, I need you to come upstairs." And then when I get upstairs, she then shows me a pregnancy test.
oh, I thought this was coming.
Wow. it was honestly in that moment it was hard to be excited because of all of what you were just doing. But definitely afterwards, I want to say the sleepover type of thing. I was like, wow, like, is this going to happen again? Are we going to be able to hold another child in our arms? And you know, appointments seem to be going good thus far, and we the way we announced it to, like, again, our parents knew, but the way we announced it to our siblings was we sent well, the siblings that were far, they got a picture, and the picture said promoted to Big Brother. That's what CJ was wearing.
Aw.
We got to my sister's house, and CJ wore the shirt. My brother Anthony saw the shirt, but he like he brushed it off.
Went straight over
And
his
then,
head.
yep. And then my sister Jennifer, she saw it, and oh, and actually I think this was the first time that all of my siblings like were in town, so it was like an intentional one, because definitely Troy was there, and I feel like David was there too. But she saw the shirt. She was like, "What in the world?" She was like, "Tony, you pregnant?" They were, yeah. And it was crazy because this was now another time that a sibling or somebody that my sister, she was expecting twins, and
Oh,
Tony, they were pregnant at the same time. I want to say this was like May of 20 May of 2020. So right before she had her own sons, we ended up having again, it's COVID time, so we had a baby shower here. We didn't do a gender reveal this time, again, because of the circumstances, but we did, let everybody know this was actually, I have to do my research. We might not have made pregnancy announcement on Facebook with CJ. I think our first announcement about CJ was actually pictures from the baby shower.
okay.
And I know people have their own things, but for us, that's just the way that we felt comfortable doing it. But with Joshua, I want to say it was the second trimester, and we finally made like an announcement that he was on the way. And I want to say it was due like November 3rd. We had a baby moon with CJ. We went to Myrtle Beach. Um, took some. I took like the I took maternity shots with my Canon that I just purchased. I think they came out good. Some people liked them. We went to a zoo. I think that was November 10th. We went to the zoo on November 10th. Um, and I believe her on that day, after all this walking, her mucus plug came up. Next day, water break.
Oh wow. So CJ's born in November as well.
Yep.
Ah, so they're both born in November. Are they both
Yeah.
Scorpions as well then?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm
Yep.
6th of November, so I know. You got two there.
Yep. So November 3rd and November 11th.
Oh, nice. Or expensive time of year for you guys then.
Yeah. Yep. That's my for some reason we've been conceiving in my birthday month,
Oh,
except for the yeah.
obviously a good time month.
But the one thing I forgot to mention is, like I said, we went to my brother's baby shower in 2017. His son AJ was born on November 4th, and that was CJ's due date. But CJ decided to come a day early, so they didn't share. So he didn't share the same birthday.
Always better to have your own birthday, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. So it's the two. You've got your two rainbow babies now. So what's and is it still lockdown or are you just coming out of lockdown?
Oh no, I was saying at the time.
No, I mean no, but after you've had your second now. So
Oh
what?
no, no, it wasn't. Lockdown was over, but there was still a lot of precautions. Like when Joshua was born, the only person that could come to the hospital was me.
Okay, okay. Well, I bet you couldn't wait to take him home then for everybody to see him.
Yep, and we FaceTimed family. I left the hospital to see CJ, and then came back to the hospital, and we were able to take Joshua home like the regular 2 to 3 days.
Oh, lovely. So, and is that you complete, or if it happens again, you'd be open to it, or?
If the finances allow, definitely we'd be open. They make it so expensive just to be a human.
Yeah, I know. It's so true. And kids are not cheap at all.
Yeah, yeah. But
Okay.
like I said, if things happen where it is possible where we can afford another child, definitely.
I'm so happy for you as well that you got to have your rainbow babies as well because I mean you're actually so you're father of five, really, you could say.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So, yes, I'm glad that you got to have your rainbow babies as well.
thank,
And so, one of the reasons why we connected was because of your music. So, do you
yeah,
want to talk a little bit about your music before we finish off? Because I
yeah.
would love to hear about that because I think it's beautiful what you've done.
Awesome. Appreciate that. So, and after after we lost, like I said, I've been on a journey with with my wife as well. But I'm the out of both of us, I'm more so the creative. So my mom had said something to me after we lost the twins. She said, "This is not God saying no." He said, "Not yet," and that not yet ended up being a year, a month, and a day later. And what happened was during that whole time, I'm like, wow, like this is not talked about as much as it should be. And then finally, I said, well, since it's not being talked about like I feel it should be, let me be the one to say something about it. So I ended up writing a song called Not Yet. And Not Yet doesn't talk about pregnancy and infant loss directly, but that is exactly what inspired the song. Um, and in the chorus, I say, "This is not God saying no." He said, "Not yet." He said, "Not yet." That's what my mom said to me. So again, is I don't. So unless people hear the testimony, they won't know that
Yeah.
that inspired the song. But that is what inspired that song. However, oh man, because I released that in I think that was October of last year.
Okay.
Fast forward, I'm like, you know what? I want to be a little bit more proactive and write a song that talks specifically about it. And I went to a songwriting workshop. And at the songwriting workshop, they gave us instrumentals for us to use as things to write to. And while I'm there, I'm like, oh, this sounds like this would be a nice song. This sounds like this would be a nice song. And most of my topics were about like love and things of that nature. When I get home, I'm like, wait a minute, where's that track I liked? Like none of the songs were doing anything. None of that music was doing anything for me anymore. I'm like, what
Okay.
just happened? I know I liked at least six of these. Like what happened? Then one day I end up being homesick. Um, I'll go like this on accident. Like there was definitely a reason behind it. I just didn't know what the reason was. And then I'm listening to a track called Solitude. And as I'm listening to Solitude, the words for my most recent single, Not Alone, started to come out. I want to say, honestly, I feel like I wrote that song in a day. It might have got edited, but I feel like that song was written in, I'm saying a day to be fair, it might have been written in a couple of hours.
Oh wow. So you definitely
And
play it then.
it's mostly because I had a lot of backstory to work with. It's not like I I want to write about, no, like I had a story. So 25% of pregnancies result in pregnancy loss. That's something I experienced. So that's literally, so literally when you hear the song, that first line, you know what the song is about.
Mm, yeah. And it's a
So
fight for women of color as well.
yes. So I ended up writing to that. Like all my ideas got changed. I ended up writing to that. I shared it at the songwriter showcase because there was a showcase. The audience seemed to resonate with it. And then I was like, all right, then I'm definitely, going to take it a step further. I purchased the track from, or at least the track from a company called Soul For Real Beats, which I also leased another track from them. And then I ended up eventually being able to get my wife as well as Joshua and CJ to come to the studio and add some lines to the song. So here it is. I have a woman that has been affected, but the story is being told from a man as well as two rainbow baby voices on the song.
And I think it's
So
absolutely lovely that you've done that. I know you've incorporated the whole family as well. And I'm hoping that it was a lovely moment, magical moment for you as well while you was in the studio doing it.
yeah, so CJ is he's done a couple of things, so he's kind of a pro at doing it. Tony was a little bit nervous, but she got it on her second take. Joshua was so wanting to be on his iPad that it took him a lot of tries to even convince him to be in there to even say his part. And then once he got his part, he didn't want to get off. Okay, Joshua, thank you. You did your part now.
Oh, that's
Because I actually had another song that I needed to work on CJ with, which I actually forgot about. I was asked to write a song for CJ's graduation ceremony, inspired by Pete the Cat book called "Rockin' in My School Shoes." So that was another proud Rainbow Dad moment because, again, if my son wasn't here, I would have never wrote this song. I
mm,
only wrote the song because I have a 5-year-old son that's attending this school that one of his teachers saw within me that that was something that I could potentially do. And she had the faith that I could deliver something that the whole school would enjoy, and the whole school enjoyed it.
honestly, I think it's amazing. I think it's amazing that you're being so creative with it. But the fact that you're openly talking about it, like you said, it's not talked about enough. People do need to know about it. And it's nice to hear the man's perspective as well, because you often hear from the women, we don't often hear from the men. So it's so nice to hear you talk about it to help raise awareness, and you take it that step further, you put it into music, you turn it into something beautiful at the same time, but at the same time, you're still raising awareness and it's supporting other people as well. Because I mean,
Yes.
I remember when I lost my son, I seeked for songs that spoke
Mm.
about that, and
Yep.
I like for his funeral and things like that. And I wanted to play songs. I wanted to play things that I could sing along to, and I could
Yep.
feel it while I was singing along to it. So and then
Yeah.
quite difficult because I've looked. It's quite difficult to find songs like that. Or
Mm.
some people have written some songs, but they've done it in like happy melody. And if you're not feeling too happy at the time, you don't want to sing happily. But I think yours is a nice fit. Like it can be both. You can, depending on whatever mood you're in, you can like,
Yes.
sing along to it. You can feel it, you know.
Mm.
So
Yeah. And I've shared it with a couple of parents that have experienced the same. And there's actually an organization here in Charlotte that I think I might be able to have them like shoot it out. I want to say they shared it in like their stories at least once, but I know they have an event in October. I'm gonna inquire and see if maybe we can sing the song at the event because the more people that are aware, the more people that can hear it. and people can be helped by the story, by the testimony.
And at the very least, it just opens up conversations, doesn't it? You know, just people ask,
Yeah,
"Oh, what's this song about?" "Oh, okay." And they might then talk about if they've experienced things like that, or if they know people that have experienced things like that. Like I say, it just
yeah,
opens up the conversation and it normalizes it. It is normal. It is part of life. It's a tragedy of life, but it is still part of life, unfortunately,
yes,
for so many of us. Um,
yes,
to have that network, that support, that encouragement, and also to show that there's, you know, there is hope, there is light at the end of the tunnel. Is as horrible as dark as it is when it happens,
yeah,
lives do continue. We haven't got a choice really in it, so you make the most of what you've got, don't you?
yes. And then I forgot to say my artist name is C Sings, Seesings, because my first name is Christopher, so I took C and turned it into a homonym for C. My last name is Singleton. What do I do most? I mostly sing, so C Sings.
Oh, that's lovely. And I'll put your, if you're happy for me to, I'll put your
Yeah,
link on the podcast as well. So
yeah,
if anybody wants to look you up on Instagram or anything like that, then you'll have the links there. And also, again, if you're happy, I would love to play your song at the end as an outro of the podcast. So anybody,
definitely.
the song that we're playing at the end that you'll hear will be Chris's song as well, and you'll be able to hit him up on Instagram if you want to hear more of it.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So, Chris, thank you so much for agreeing to do this today. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Bearing in mind it's 4th of July and he is in America right now, so anyone that's listening doesn't know that. So yeah, he's taken the time out today on his holiday to do this. So I'm very grateful. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And it's been awesome. Definitely looking forward to streaming this episode.